You know, when people say, have we lost the plot? I often wonder if we've lost the plot when it comes to activism and advocacy. There's a lot of different narratives, and I can really appreciate that. There's certainly no shortage of opinions. But what I've noticed is we still, as a whole, tend to operate in a space where being curious or being inquisitive or just existing as a neurodivergent person leads us to a lot of lateral ableism, meaning ableism from our own community. That includes things like calling somebody crazy because we know that mental health and mental health struggles overlap with neurodiversity quite largely. Like, there's a bunch of statistics that I have shared in regards to that. We should never be calling anybody crazy or any. And truly, it breaks my heart that as a baseline, people go to different Facebook pages looking for help. Or they go to Facebook groups looking to have questions answered. And instead of that, what do they get? They get people belittling them. They get people bullying them. They get people running them out of groups. They get people being really unkind. And I've seen that. And previously, I may have fostered those conversations because at the time, maybe I felt like that's how you do it because that's what I saw. That's what I saw from these larger pages, setting this example that you run your page in a way that outrages people, rage baiting. That has become the norm, and that has become the baseline so much that we think that that is what is expected of us. And I woke up one day and I said, no, I'm not doing this. And one of the big reasons for that was there's been such a dramatic toll on my own personal mental health. I've had days where my heart was racing so fast that it felt like I could hear my pulse. It felt like I couldn't see anything but red. It felt like all I could hear was like a ringing in my ears. And I felt very sick. My appetite was gone. I wasn't sleeping properly. I was crying. I was nervously shaking. My whole body was trembling. I was having a very strong trauma response coupled with panic attacks and, high blood pressure and heart palpitations and all the things all intermingled. And we should never make people feel like that. And with that being said, I know I'm not the only one that has been made to feel like that when it comes to seeking answers or seeking support or seeking a community, especially when it comes to being neurodivergent, because so many of us may misinterpret situations, or we may not respond in a way that is passable, that is liked, that is socially accepted, even among our own peers. They'll use it against us. They'll use our neurodivergent traits against us. You can't respond when you're in panic mode. You can't expect somebody to respond when the way that they are being spoken to is a way that makes them feel even worse. That's not a safe space for resolution. So then I wonder, was resolution ever the goal? Or was the goal to make somebody else feel bad so that they feel better? And I guess I've been in enough situations where people go on power trips to belittle and berate you so that they feel uplifted, because again, if the goal is to make somebody else feel miserable, then the person who's perpetrating that probably is miserable as well. And I don't think that the internet is a great place to seek out therapy. Like, certainly we need help and we would love answers and we would love to find community. But everybody would benefit from therapy if they open their heart to it, if they can afford it, if they can find low-cost counseling, if it's accessible to them. And I know for me, that was one of the biggest steps that I took, because I'm like, I cannot handle this. This is hurting my heart. This is hurting me as a person, and this is making me feel totally devalued. And nobody should feel like they're absolutely worthless because of others. The baseline should never be harm. These pages with thousands of followers should not be utilizing it to weaponize people. It is almost like having people fight for entertainment and perhaps monetary gain. And I see that. Like, I know how the numbers get inflated, and I know how social media absolutely 100% favors rage. It favors anger. But autistic people, neurodivergent people, we get so much flack from the outside world. We should not be setting the baseline that is how people should conduct themselves within our own communities. When people are vulnerable and they're seeking out support and they're seeking out help, the baseline should not be arguments, bullying, anything like that. And we need to collectively take a stand against it because it really does need to stop. So with all that being said, I want to try to be a safer space for people. I have people messaging me, asking me for help, and I honestly try to do as much as I can in my power, which, I don't know, maybe I have more power than I think I do, but I wish I could do more for others. The entire baseline of everything that I do has support as the goal, has help at the goal. I mean, you see what I do for my business. I want to do so much more. I want to get more pins made. I want to have more messages being made. I want to get extenders made for my lanyards, and I just cannot do that right now because things have slowed down significantly, and it breaks my heart because I really want to pour more of myself and more financial resources into my business and into my activism and advocacy work.